As some of you may know, my elbow is absolutely fucked right now if you follow me on Instagram or if you have picked that up in any of my videos recently. So this week, you're probably going to see a little bit different style of content. Me not on the course. I have some, hopefully, they're good ideas coming, but we'll see. Today, we're going to be sitting down, chilling in my backyard. If you guys hear random noises, it's because I live in one of the most non-peaceful areas that I could ever imagine in my entire life. The absolute shithole that is Antioch, Tennessee. Sit back, relax. This will probably be a long one because I talk way too damn much. And enjoy. Grab yourself a little bev. Maybe give her a sip. We got a little Moscow Mule. And let's get into it.
There's three keys to disc golf: driving, approaching, and putting. You need all three to do this disc sport.
Talk about you, what you do outside of disc golf, and who you were before the channel. Quick rundown: I grew up in Minnesota, small town, Hutchinson, Minnesota, about an hour 20 west of the Twin Cities. Played sports, just lived like a small town childhood, I guess. Good times. After high school, went to college for a year, dropped out, moved to the cities, stayed there for a couple of years, did the regular, young 20-year-old thing, and then moved to Arizona. Jesus fucking Christ, the fucking neighbors and their goddamn landscaping turned on again. I already tried to film this video. I was literally 13 minutes in, and then the fucking lawnmower starts, and now they're doing some other shit. Of course, the neighbors are playing some fucking annoying ass, stupid fucking music also. Hopefully, the landscaper's done. Where was I? Lived in lived in Minneapolis for a couple of years, and then I made the move to Arizona, and I feel like that's kind of like my recent life that I'll kind of go into a little bit. I made the move to Arizona right as COVID had hit. We were in Minnesota, decided let's move to Arizona. Looks like the spot to be. I had the idea of starting a business, I guess, of videography, photography. I wanted to make money with a camera. I had been doing fitness social media, I had been doing all these things, and I'm like, I want to do something. I've always been that type of person who, like, you know, doesn't want to just have a job. I need to like do something creative, and I need to like do exactly what I want to be doing. And for me in my head, there's really no other option. So I moved to Arizona, spent about 2 years there overall, building my business that I called Left Home Creative. Left home kind of meaning that leaving home in the sense of like leaving the ordinary life or leaving, where you came from to chase a bigger dream, simply put, I guess is what I would say it represents. So Left Home Creative, you've maybe seen that on some of the hats Ethan wears, some of the hats I wear, things like that. So I spent 2 years in Arizona building my business, building my network, getting work. I somehow made it for like almost 2 years as like a freelance creator, I guess you could call it. But towards the end, I really realized that if there's one thing I hate in life more than anything, it's chasing other people's dreams when you're more passionate about it than they are. So that quickly put me into a headspace that basically made me hate everything I was doing for the last couple years. And then when I got to Tennessee this last summer, I was in a very like negative mindset. And overall, I'm a very like happy person, I'm always like smiling and in a good mood. Up until kind of this last year, I was in a very like bad mental place, and I just didn't know what my next move was going to be. And then we get to this YouTube channel, and me and Ethan start filming some videos, whatever. And then one of them, I think it was the Pulse review video. I don't know if you guys have seen that one at all. It got like 1,000 views in about a week, and I saw that 1K hit, and I was like, okay, I can do this. I was like, there's something here. Clearly, there's something here. And ever since that day, I basically went like, slowly picked it up after that, and then right now for the last month or two, it's been the only thing I do. It is takes all of my time, takes all of my energy. I think about it probably way too often. I'm brainstorming ideas every single day. My notes are filled on my phone of like things that I want to do. Who I was before the channel was just a guy that was chasing a dream to like do the things that I want to do in life. And I think there's a lot of people out there who resonate with that, but there's also a lot of people who think that's an unrealistic, I guess, way to live your life. And that's fine because if everyone was like that, then there probably wouldn't be as good of a chance for the people like me, I guess, to try and make something happen. And so it's like, bro, if that doesn't describe fucking Antioch shithole Tennessee, then I don't know what does. Oh my god, I hate this place. 3 more weeks, I'm out of here. Never coming back. So I guess that's kind of who I was before the channel. As far as what I do outside of disc golf, I really enjoy music. I'm huge into music. I like going to music festivals. I like going to concerts, and I like just having a good, fun time. To be completely honest, I view life in a way of like if you're not having fun all the time, you're kind of like wasting it. And I'll get a little bit more into like my music and stuff like that later on. We'll get on to the next question so I don't start talking about shit for like 15 minutes each. Top five discs in each category, someone asked. I thought that was like a simple, good question. Putter, PA3. I think it's the best putter ever made. Approach disc, the A2. I think the A2 is in a league of its own. No other company has a disc that can compete with what the A2 does. Mid range, Buzz SS. Just the goat of mid ranges. You know why if you watch my channel. Fairway driver, I put Eagle or T-Bird if you can find good ones. If you can get your hands on good Eagles or T-Birds, I do not think since those came out there has ever been a fairway driver that can compete with them. As of late, I've been throwing the Votum a lot because I really enjoy that disc and I kind of think it's the closest thing to like an Eagle that you can get in my mind. Uh, for like 9 speed, Firebird. You know that one. And then for distance driver, I said Scorpius. I think the Scorpius is a fantastic disc, very underrated. A lot of times, what it is it's the old good destroyer molds. So nowadays, destroyers are absolute garbage. So if you want a good destroyer, go get yourself a Scorpius. What is my background in sports outside of tossing lids? I played baseball and football growing up. Baseball was like my bread and butter. I played 3 seasons a year basically since middle school. I played travel ball, I played school ball, and then I played a fall league as well. I absolutely loved baseball, and it was pretty much like everything to me. I was absolutely obsessed with it. Kind of like how I'm obsessed with disc golf now. That used to be baseball. I used to have MLB Network on 100% of the time, and I was honestly like obsessed with baseball. I loved the gloves. I loved like the pace of the game. I loved like the thought process behind the game. I loved how like the intricacies of the game. You could be superstitious. Baseball has its own little personalities. I feel like baseball players are all very like different. It's a unique sport. I think in terms of like individuality, I think the MLB as a whole is completely ruining the game of baseball by having like the monopoly on the content and all the things like that. And I would love to get back into baseball, but I don't know if that's in the cards for me right now. Uh, but yeah, I loved baseball until my high school coach, Scott Renning, fuck you. I hate that guy with probably like he ruined baseball for me. Baseball went from being like my favorite thing in the entire world to me not watching like a single thing of baseball for probably like 4 or 5 years simply because of him. One day I was in my hometown. This was like after I graduated. I was sitting in Qdoba eating some lunch. He comes up to me, fucking puts his hand on my shoulder. Ah, how's it going, man? I'm like, I look at him, I'm like, good. In my mind, I wanted to literally tell him to go fuck himself. If I ever see him again, I'll probably do that. So, shout out to Coach Renning. Fuck you. Baseball, I played third base and I was a pitcher also. Football was probably a little bit more of what I was like naturally gifted at. I made varsity as a freshman. Played for a really good football team, won 2 state titles, only lost 5 games in my entire high school career on 4 years on varsity, almost 3 complete undefeated seasons in a row. I played defensive tackle, defensive end, and tight end. I originally planned to go play college football, but during my time playing high school sports, I had 3 meniscus tears, 2 ACL tears, MCL tear, and a labrum tear. Basically, by the time high school was over, my body was done. And I had originally signed to go play at an NAIA school in North Dakota. And then before I even stepped foot on campus, I actually ended up calling it quits. So Football was great. I loved my experience playing football. It was pretty good. But yeah, that's kind of like my sports background, I guess. What kind of music just gets you going? I'd say my favorite artists are Elenium, Morgan Wallen, John Bellion, Sam Hunt, In Her Own Words, the band Camino. There's kind of some of my favorite artists or bands or groups. I have a very wide variety of like music tastes. Elenium is obviously, well, maybe not obviously, EDM artist, Morgan Wallen, country artist, John Bellion, kind of like a pop artist, but in his very own lane. I think John Bellion is one of the most gifted musicians to ever walk the face of the earth. Sam Hunt, pop country, I guess you'd call it. In Her Own Words, is like a pop punk band. The band Camino is like a modern rock pop band, I guess you would call it. So I have a very like wide variety of music. If you have checked out like any of my playlists I've posted on my Instagram, uh, I'll be the guy that who like my playlist goes from like EDM to country to pop to like pop punk, like all in the same playlist. I just love how it like flows together somehow. I grew up with my dad playing in bands, and he was like the lead singer and guitar player in bands while I was growing up. So from a very young age, I was exposed to like very many different kinds of music, and I think that kind of stems from like where I get my music taste from. I have a very wide variety. If you guys have watched my videos and you know the outro song, it's an interesting genre, I guess. I don't know if I'd call it like the most genre, or I don't know if I would call it like the most popular genre of music, but like that type of stuff too, I just absolutely love. So I have a very wide variety of music. I absolutely hate like modern pop, and I do not like rap music other than basically Mac Miller. Oh yeah, also Mike is like one of my favorite artists. I don't know how I forgot that. I listen to his album The Highs like every single day. If you haven't listened to any Mike, go check that shit out. It just speaks like the exact message that I kind of portray and try to live in my life. Gotta sip the bev. Who is your favorite backhand and forehand form? Backhand, I'd have to say Seppo Payu or Matty O. I like how both of them have that like, kind of that like curled up like style of form. Matty O, I just love him as a style, like the play style he has. And then Seppo, when you watch that guy unload on like a hyzer flip or something, I just, it's beautiful. Just go watch it. Forehand, I would say Big Germ. Weirdly enough, the results that he gets sometimes maybe not the greatest. I think Big Germ is the type of player who like maybe if he slowed down a little bit, he would like score better and like thought his throws through, because he kind of like walks up and just flicks it. But the actual motion and style of his forehand throw is something that I definitely try to emulate with the finesse and the hyzer flip up and like flicking mid ranges and stuff like that. So I absolutely love the way Big Germ throws a sidearm. Up next, what's your favorite hat that you own? I actually thought that was a really good question, because some of you guys probably noticed that I wear like multiple different hats in a lot of the videos, and they're all, I wouldn't say like basic hats. So I figured I would like grab my stack of hats. Lately, this is my newest pickup. I got this for $6 off of Facebook Marketplace. This vintage Nike Golf one. When I got it, it was like a crinkled up pile of shit, and so I had to like reform it and everything. But yeah, so this one has been like my favorite lately. Right here we have actually my Left Home Creative, my like creative brand. I did a run of hats. I did these black just A-frame truckers. This is the first one. This was like the test one. So I did like 6 stamps on it. And it's kind of like a one of one, I guess. So that's one of my like faves. Kind of like a nostalgic thing. It was like the first piece of like branding I ever did for myself that kind of, sold merch actually. Up next is this upside down Nike with this tag here. I actually made this hat. So I had this pair of vintage Nike shorts that were basically the same color as this hat. So I actually ordered this hat blank online, stitched on the Nike logo upside down. Got inspiration from my buddy's Travis Scott Nike hat where the logo is upside down on that, and then I got the old school vintage Nike logo stitched on the side, or vintage Nike tag stitched on the side, because I kind of thought that was cool too. So this is also one of my favorite hats. This is the prototype Left Home Creative orange camo hat. I don't wear this one that much anymore because the way this auto trucker hat fits my head, I don't necessarily love, which is unfortunate, but it's a very like nostalgic piece. It's like the prototype one of one that I ordered originally before I actually did like the whole launch of the hats. So Left Home Creative. This is supposed to be purple, but it's literally like brown. But you know, kind of like means a lot, I guess. This is also one that I recently, well, not recently, probably like 3 months ago, I thrifted from a thrift store here in Nashville. Berman Outfitting. Just, I'm big on like kind of, I used to hunt growing up, but I'm just big on like the nostalgic roots of like where I'm from, being like a small town in Minnesota. And so I wear a lot of like camo or like denim jackets and stuff like that, almost in like an ironic way because like I haven't hunted in like 10 years, or maybe not that long, maybe like 6 7 years, but yet I'll wear like this camo hunting hat all the time. Vintage snapback here, cobra cap, double snap on the back. This has been one of my faves lately. My hair is getting a little too long and puffy to wear this one recently because it just like it falls off. So if I ever cut my hair again, which might happen, and I have short hair, this will probably be one of the go-tos. Next, I have probably like my two go-tos for like the last year, and this one for the last like 3 years. So this Surf Hawaii originally was what this hat was. Another thrift find out in Arizona, double snap on the back, lime green. And then what I like to do is I took the Left Home Creative logo and stamped it over the Surf Hawaii logo, kind of like an upcycling type vibe. So this was one of my favorites. This is another one where it doesn't fit me as well when my hair is long. So this is like a short hair hat. I know I'm like very picky about the hats. And then I guess the question, what is my favorite hat? That would be this Gatorade Left Home Creative upcycled hat. This one is not actually like a vintage find. I just ordered this on truckerhatsusa.com. If you want to get like ironic or like funny or branded vintage style, like I guess retro trucker hats, check out Trucker Hats USA. This is a Nissan Sun Cap. I've had this one for like 3 years now, and this one has been maybe four now. This one has been like, it's it's that hat that's like been with me like through it all. To be completely honest, it's just it's really had a good life, and I love this hat. So it's one of my faves. Oh, I had to make sure the battery was not dead, guys. Make sure she was still recording, so I'm not just sitting out here in my yard talking to myself. This was a good one. If you could bring back any player who retired before 2010 to be in their prime and play in the current pro scene, who would it be? I think you got to be dumb to not pick Ken Climo in this, just to, I guess, end the GOAT debate. But also, like, I think Climo was obviously on like the Tour Life podcast recently, and I think a lot of people probably learned more about Ken Climo in that one interview than they've ever known because there's not a lot out there on him, to be completely honest. But I think people are very naive to think that his skill set and adaptability to like just being an athletic person is so much higher than what people think it is, in my opinion. I think if you give Ken Climo the modern discs, like if you had the modern discs back in the day, or if he was in his prime now, I think he's still one of the best ever. Look at his like just the dude's an athlete. He has the Paul Macbeth mentality, and I think that's what matters more than anything in disc golf. And you can't deny that he would be great. He could still putt. Probably has a more controllable putt upshot game, the slow pace of that game back then, the touch. I think it'd be great to see. Obviously, I don't know if there's any other answer for that one, to be honest. You get to play around with any MPO touring player. Who do you choose and which course are you playing? I'm probably gonna pick Matteo because I love how he throws. I think he's the funniest guy ever. When in terms of like the practice rounds on YouTube and stuff like that, I think he's the only one worth watching because he just brings such an interesting personality, and he's so himself. There's no one else like him. He's unfiltered. Like he just says what's on his mind, and it's so entertaining, and he's such a like seems like the nicest person ever. I would say Blue Ribbon Pines on a beautiful Minnesota summer day, not necessarily because I feel like it's the best course even. It's just that there's a lot of holes, so it'd be a nice long round. Minnesota summer day, beautiful one, would be beautiful. The course would be beautiful, and I think just the experience as a whole out there would be great. What's your 5-year goal with disc golf? I want to build a community with my platform. You know, there's a lot of disc golf creators out there right now. Some of them, in my opinion, making absolute ass content, and not the good kind either. Some of them are know what they're doing, and I want to build that like community of people who I would actually want to play around with. I think that's been a thing that my channel has kind of like put out there since the beginning of I've had so many people comment like, bro, you're just like you're exactly who you and Ethan are exactly who we'd want to be playing a casual round with. This is real disc golf. This is what it's actually like. Instead of that, I won't even get into like the other shit. You guys know if you're watching this far into the video, you know what I'm talking about. And I want to build a community of like real disc golf and just make I want to change the scope of disc golf creation and content creation outside of the pro scene. You know what I mean? A lot of other sports or avenues of entertainment, they have like the professionals, but then there's this whole other like I don't know if you call it another niche, but there's this whole other group of people who aren't the pros or aren't the experts, but that are like making a living and making this content that benefits the whole, disc golf or niche in a whole, but in a way that hasn't been done before. And that's what I want to do, at least with this channel. I want to make this the most interactive channel, the most like, well, like, if you look at my comment section, the comments that I get on videos that get so much lower views than a lot of the other creators out there is actually insane. Like, my engagement per view is so much higher than almost like every other account that I see out there. And so I really want to just continue to like build that. Also, with that, I want to make disc golf a career. I want to make money from this. I couldn't keep doing this if I wasn't making money from it. So, as much as you have to be like true to yourself to build a true community, true audience, and people that want to just watch anything you put out, it's always going to be something that I'm passionate about, but you got to build that true core audience of people, probably the people watching this video right now this far in, of people who really just fuck with you. It doesn't even matter what I'm doing. Like, eventually I want to be able to post content that's not even disc golf related, but because you guys, because we get along, you still want to watch it because it's just personable and you guys can like relate to it, because I'm just a normal guy who just really like chases his dreams. And I think I have a lot of like the mindset that I have and the opinions I have. I think the people who agree with that are the type of people that I would want to be friends with. And I think that's what this like disc golf scene needs. Also, I want to become a respectable like local pro. I feel as though I am a decent disc golfer. I do have a high ceiling in my mind. Obviously, I need to figure out how to fucking putt. But when it comes to throwing the frisbee, I think I have pro level talent, and that's just my opinion. I think I have a very high level forehand. I have the distance backhand. I have everything in my mind other than the obvious pro consistency and then the putting, which is obviously make or break, but I don't really see myself ever being like a true touring pro. But I would like to be that guy that goes to, the local A tier and can compete and just have a good time out on the course and be like proud of how I'm playing disc golf. I've put a lot of years, but now since I've been playing disc golf since 5th grade, and I've had a lot of ups and downs with this game and with this sport, and it's really something that I'm not gonna I'm not gonna stop trying until I get to the competitive level that I've always wanted to get to. And so that's kind of, I guess, my last like 5-year plan or goal with disc golf. You'll be living out of the van soon. What will happen with Ethan? I'll definitely miss having the ginger in your videos. Also, how do you know when to boca schmoll with your disc golf squad? So, as some of you know, me and Paula will be moving up to Minnesota for the summer and into our van in about 3 weeks now, which means that Ethan might not be on the channel as much. What some of you probably don't know is Ethan will be in Tennessee for a little bit longer, but he'll also be coming to Minnesota for like a month or so this summer as well. So he'll be back on the channel a ton. Um, and then Ethan and our other, basically our buddies who are all disc golfers as well, they plan to move to Charlotte come fall when the lease here in Nashville is up. And so as me and Paula travel in the van and stuff, we will be making some stops in Charlotte probably next winter and things like that. So Ethan won't be gone forever. We're gonna, obviously get him on as much as possible and he'll be back. It'll just be, hopefully maybe we can stockpile some content with him so we can, get a little ETH vid like every 5 vids or something. Who knows? But he'll be a little bit less, but maybe not even because I'd be out here filming like every day and he'd be at work. But a little less, but he'll still be here, guys, along with some of our other buddies that you guys will probably be meeting this summer. So that'll be super fun. How do you know when to smoke a bowl Boca Schmoll, sorry, with your disc golf squad. So Ethan likes to Boca Schmolls when he's playing. I do not. Uh, as far as all our other buddies, that question I'll have to answer that with them later on because I don't really have the insight for that one. Life or death scenario. You have to choose a pro in their prime to hit Conrad's holy shot. Who are you picking? Paul fucking Macbeth. In my mind, Paul Macbeth is the most clutch player to ever walk the planet. Yes, this year he has not been playing well. Unfortunate. But I think when it comes to like a big moment and you need someone to come through, you'd be dumb not to pick Paul Macbeth. Weirdly enough, the guy that the holy shot was hit on, but Paul Macbeth, 100%. How so handsome and talented at the same time? What is your secret? Thank you. Um, who knows? Maybe this was a joke or maybe it was serious. But I guess it's all about confidence, to be honest, guys. You gotta be a confident person. If you're out there and you're an ugly motherfucker and you're trying to get a DGB, trust me, confidence goes a long way. So, confidence. That's the answer to that one. Open up the BBO. I like this question. I don't know what it actually means, but how I assume it is the Big Bass Open, which is a yearly tournament held up at Ethan's cabin. Ethan has a 13-hole course at his cabin in northern Minnesota. Open up the BBO, I would assume means open up the field, let people come. If you haven't seen the BBO, you have to go watch it. It is like probably 30 videos down. I'll try and throw it up in the corner. It is the epitome of like what this channel is, and if you haven't seen it, it's only got like 300 something views because it was posted like what, a year ago now, I don't know, but you gotta go watch it if you're a fan of this channel and you haven't seen the BBO. I'll break it down for you. The BBO is a tournament that every year about 10 friends go up to Ethan's cabin. It originally started as just we go up there and have a bender of a weekend, and then when Ethan started building this course, it turned into let's have a disc golf tournament. For the last 2 years, we've filmed it. The first year was horseshit, still very entertaining. Last year we had the T box cam and catch cam. We had people mic'd up. It was a lot higher quality production. It's about an hour and a half long of some of the most probably entertaining disc golf. It is, I would say, rated R disc golf you'll ever see, and it's something that is great. And happy to announce that the BBO is actually going to be coming sooner than maybe some of you would think. Late June is the potential date for now. No, it won't be open to the public. It'll probably be the same field as last year. But the BBO is just disc golf at its finest, I guess is how I would say it. It is something else. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Also, this year I am looking for an alcohol sponsor for the BBO. So if you or someone you know works for a small alcohol brand and you guys want a little bit of exposure maybe, hit me up. Also, any other like disc golf brands or any brands, anything I guess that wants to send any sort of prizes, CTPs, money for the purse, because we do have a purse at this tournament, let me know. And we're trying to get like banners, we're trying to get sponsors, we're trying to make this thing huge this year. We're going to have a press conference, we're going to have obviously the full round coverage, and then we're going to have Clyde's fucking looking at me. You just, this bitch. We're going to have like everything you could ever dream of in a disc golf tournament, plus a little smoke bowling and drinky inking, you know, couple couple bevs. That's pretty much all I got. Those are all the questions. If you guys want me to go like any more in depth on any of these, I guess let me know, you know? This is kind of like the first video. Damn, bro, we're getting a little breeze here. Holy shit. There goes my hat. This is kind of the first video that is like not my normal style, you know, of like on course videos. And I do want to start branching out a little bit. I want to diversify the content and have tons of different things to offer. I do have something coming later this week that I think you guys are going to absolutely fucking love. If you saw my Instagram story, you maybe have a slight idea of what it's going to be. But that's gonna do it for the Q&A today. If you're still here watching, thank you. You know how that girl you went to high school with that like started a fitness account or started a business? It was like big things coming. So big things coming, but like you guys probably don't realize it yet. But this actually is like changing the trajectory of my life, especially as I shift into this next chapter of like the van life, traveling, disc golf content creation, and everything. The momentum that this channel has had recently is honestly, it's like something that I always thought would happen. I've been creating content for a long time. I've tried so many different things. But until it finally started to work with this channel, you don't really realize like the potential that you have as a creator, as a person or entertainer, whatever you want to call it. And you know, the growth that this channel has seen recently. If some of you guys don't know, this channel was nothing like 3 months ago. And now we're here. You know, thousands of views of video, and it's actually nuts. Hundreds of comments on every video, like the engagement, the community that I feel like we truly are building here, that is about to like take over this fucking disc golf scene. I think it's something like very, very cool. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching. Um, Shit, I got a frisbee right here actually. Thank you for watching. We will see you in the next one. Oh yeah.